Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beautiful people across the whole world, Misters, Misses, and MXs alike, this is the Zendikar Rising set review. I'm Day 9, the Truth Speaker, and today we will speak truth about exactly how good, bad, and in between every card in Zendikar Rising will be. These set reviews typically take about 7 hours because I've never been known to be terse. But the good news is the following. By the end, you should know exactly how to build your Zendikar Rising decks on Thursday, alongside your pal Day 9. Few items of business. 1, we will be going through these in Wooburg order. White, blue, black, red, green, multicolored land. Wooburgmal. We're going to go through in Wooburgmal order. Afterwards, on Wednesday, starting at noon, we have a special Zendikar Rising pre-release sponsored by Wizards, whereby 2 hours will be dedicated to me and Nox deeply diving into the jank cards. What are the best jank cards to look out for? Playing some jank battles against one another. Then at 2 p.m., Louise Scott Vargas is going to be joining us, and me and LSV are going to be going through some standard stuffs. What's rotating out, the new good cards coming in, and we're even going to play some standard and some draft. And I say we're going to talk about it, but really it's going to be LSV saying smart things and me going, oh yes, absolutely. Thursday, Zendikar Rising launches. I'll be playing that all day. Friday, I'll be playing Zendikar Rising all day. Is this good? Is this great? Who do we appreciate? LSV, apparently. That's how chat works. We're going to have some great Arboreal Grazer-driven decks. So that's the first item of business, is what's happening coming up. Second item of business that I want to talk about. The Mythic Invitational just happened over the weekend, and that is maybe the best top 8 that I have ever seen. Getting the recording done on the final day was an absolute pain in the ass, though, and it took 15 hours to get through the broadcast. Just endless delays, weird tech issues. What can you do? It's coronavirus times. They're trying to take 50 different feeds from 50 different players, stitch them together. I had a blast doing it. And one of the greatest foibles I've ever done happened during that live event, and Monty absolutely owned me. Just go to the Magic Esports Twitter. You'll find the video. It'll be terrific. Last item of business. I am probably not going to even give cards that many ratings here. The ones that really deserve it, the 5 out of 5s, the 0 out of 5s, we may mention those, but I just want to make sure that we don't wind up overly giving ratings, because at the end of the day, set reviews are intended for entertainment purposes, to titillate us before we can buy our packs and build our decks. They're not necessarily meant to be correct. Now with that shit out of the way, let's drop Beacons of Truth, starting with the letter W. Allied Assault, 2 and a white, instant. Up to 2 target creatures each get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in your party. For any of you who have not heard of the new party mechanic, Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, and Wizard, the good old Final Fantasy I style classes, or perhaps the D&D style classes, however you want to describe it. Each different member of the party you have increases the number of party members by 1. So if you have 1 Cleric, you have 1 member in your party. If you have a Cleric, Rogue, and Warrior, you have 3 members in your party. If you have a Cleric, and Warrior, you have 2 members of your party, because 3 of them are Clerics. Whew. Didn't mean to punch the microphone. That's my bad. And so if, for instance, you had a Warrior and a Wizard and you cast Allied Assault, you would immediately get +2/+2 on those respective creatures. This is kind of interesting to me. A combat trick with a symmetric effect on more than one. Get my headphones out of the way. I don't need to listen to any incoming audio. I'm the only audio that matters. This is kind of an interesting effect, but to me feels very limited based. I can't really see a 3-mana instant speed combat trick being necessarily great in Standard, because it's just like way too easy to blow things up in Standard. So of course 0 in Standard, and we're going to give this a 2 in Limited. This could be a reasonable. No, I'd actually give it a 3 in Limited. And here's the thing. By the way, these are all out of 5, and occasionally we give 7s. I don't know. It's weird. This rating scale is very odd here. I don't know. I'll figure it out after a few of these. The best advice I ever got is, if you are trying to get better at draft, look at what the uncommon cards are doing. Rares are very difficult to guarantee because there's only 1 per pack. There's plenty of commons, but it's really the uncommons that can be the juicy build-arounds. This is an uncommon card, so I can see someone trying to snag an Allied Assault in a party-driven deck. Let me... Angel of Destiny, 3 and a pair of whites. It's an Angel Cleric. Keep in mind, Cleric, the creature tribe, is very relevant. Flying Double Strike on a 2/6. What? Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you and that player each gain that much life. What? At the beginning of your end step, if you have at least 15 more life than your starting life total, each player, Angel of Destiny attacked this turn, loses the game. What? Oh my god. So if I, say, have 35 life and then I attack with an Angel of Destiny, I can just snap win the game? This card sucks, okay? This card is absolute garbage. Not a chance in hell. Let's be clear. In Limited, this card is hot plasma, okay? This card is a 2/6 that's effectively a 4/6 in terms of the damage. A 5-mana, 4/6 flyer that's gaining a bunch of life for you and the opponent is kind of terrific. It's kind of terrific. You can also summon multiples. You can also just sit back and defend and just attack with other creatures. This actually seems really nice. But are you kidding me? A 5-mana flyer, and we're trying to heal, and we're trying to attack? Oh, please, come on. If I were doing a lifelink deck, I would just want more of the little tiny babies. However, one of the best parts about Angel of Destiny is that if you get 2 and you attack your opponent, they can lose twice in one game. And I assume that there's going to be a rule in an upcoming Mythic Championship where if someone swings with 2 Angels of Destiny in a match, they can just win the best of 3 in game number 1. That's pretty sick. That's pretty great. Angel Heart Protector. This is me with any of my pets hearing any noise. 2 and a white for a human cleric. Again, cleric, very important. When Angel Heart Protector enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. We're going to give this a limited out of 5. I would probably drop it to a 2 out of 5 limited, maybe 3 out of 5 limited. You don't run this kind of absolute nonsense garbage in Constructed. But what's interesting to me about Angel Heart Protector is, again, 3 mana, 3 2s, 3 mana, 2 3s is just like the most common vanilla stat line for just like a solid little burpler. Why would you want the indestructible keyword on the offense? Because remember, Angel Heart Protector can only be cast sorcery speed on your turn. It's a creature, no other things necessary. No flash, no none of that nonsense. So with that Angel Heart Protector, I'd give it 2 out of 5. It's just some fillery, billery junk. Archon of Emeria. A 3 mana 2/3 flyer. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell each turn. Non-basic lands your opponent control enter the battlefield tapped. Oh my god, it's a flying Rule of Law tapper. Archon of Emeria. What are you? What the hell are you? Listen, this is going to get in one of my Constructed deck. This gets a day 9 out of 5 in Constructed. Limited, this card is actually okay. Limited, this card is actually okay because, frankly, it's just a 2/3 flyer that slows the game down. I do think that if you were a more aggressive deck, and you built a board on turn 1 and 2 in draft, and then, bam, you play the Archon of Emeria, you can get some good stuff, good momentum building. If you are a super cheap Mega Combat focused deck in Limited, that could hurt. But I would still give this 3 out of 5 in Limited. I like it. It seems reasonable. Archpriest of Iona. Holy shit. Hot plasma right here. Are you kidding me? 1 white. Archpriest of Iona's power is equal to the number of creatures in your party. Ooh. Ooh. So it comes out as a 1/2 because it itself is a cleric, okay? At the beginning of combat, on your turn, if you have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. Here is my general thought about party mechanics. I don't anticipate that anything but jank decks will regularly assemble a full party. This is my gist. This is my general statement. I think pretty clearly you will only ever have about 2 consistently in a Constructed setting. And so I think of the Archpriest of Iona as a 2/2 for 1 mana, which is good. It's like a white Rakdos Cackler. A 2/2 for 1 is pretty nice. And especially given that white weenie decks are about building a board and then swelling up with something like an Unbreakable Formation or a Basri Solidarity, some stuff like this. I really think that this, if you just pick generally clerics and warriors in white and that's it, I think this is just a beefy 1-drop. Again, I don't think that this bottom text is going to be that relevant. Party seems very strong, or I should say it seems very reasonable and limited, but there you go. Attended Healer. 3 and 1 white. For a core cleric uncommon, whenever you gain life for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Oh. Another target cleric gains lifelink until end of turn. I'm kind of fascinated by these white limited mechanics that are like, you can pay mana to help a super conditional thing until end of turn, or under the following circumstances, tap a thing. Like, if you control a flyer, you can tap a thing. This card summoned cats, so it's a 5 out of 5 in both formats. We love cats here. This is Day 9 TV, where we have a little brown cat named Sheriff and a little gray cat named Despy, and we love them so much. This just seems like absolute trash in Constructed, and an adorable, wonderful card to have in Limited. I think that if you can get some of those life gainers going, you can do a literal gainer and summon a 1/1 every single turn. I'm a big fan of these 2, 3, 4 mana, summon lots of 1/1 type things. I think that will depend on having a little bit of flying action, but, you know, what can you do? Canyon Jerboa. 2 and a white. It's a creature mouse. Oh. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Whoa. First of all, this art is really nice. Look at his eyeball. Look at his eyeball. Look at my eyeball. I love creature mouses. This is such a good effect. This is such a good effect. I mean, I can imagine like a Boros limited list, having a Canyon Jerboa, building up a board, it's stalling a little bit, land, swing in big. Don't worry too much on the defense. Next turn, land, swing in big. I really like landfall in Limited. I really like landfall in general. I really like land. Oh, this is so good. This is cool. This is like a really cool creature. 3 out of 5 Limited, unplayable and constructed. Cliffhaven Sellsword, 1 and a white. It's a 3/1 core warrior. This is a limited card. 3/1s for 2 mana have existed since the dawn of Magic time, or I should say, if any of you have only played Arena, this has existed since the dawn of Magic the Gathering Arena. A 3/1 for 3 in white. None of them ever make it into a constructed white deck, period. Unless they have some upsides, such as Seasoned Hallowblade, a 3/1 that you can chuck cards from your hand to make it indestructible. Cliffhaven Sellsword is a Cliffhaven bad sword in Constructed, but in Limited. Most notable text here, come on little mouse. I too have a creature mouse. It's this warrior keyword right here. There's Cliffhaven Sellsword inviting himself over to your house when you're in a D&D session. Hey! Do you mind if I just sit in? Is it okay if I'm just in for this one episode and then, like, you know, afterwards I can, like, totally go? It's like, no big deal. I'll just sit here and give comments the entire time about what everyone's doing, if that's okay. If I can't play, I'll just tell everyone what they should be leveling, what they should be doing, if that's okay. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that person. Excuse me. I inhaled my own saliva. All right. Dauntless Unity, 1 and a white. Ooh, it's a kicker card. Ooh! Creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn if this spell was kicked. Those creatures get +2/+1 until end of turn. Huh. Absolutely not. Trash, garbage, detritus, nothing but the white elephant gifts for this one. Oh, I had this in my pack. Let's slide it right back to the right. Dauntless Unity is I would call this your last card in a draft. Your last card. This is the kind of card that if you're running it and you have 16 solid ones, or excuse me, 22 solid ones, and you are just looking to get one final juicy piece to help you finish the game, you pick up this puppy. But getting just +2/+1 for 4 seems bad. Trumpet Blast gives you +2/+0 for 3, and it's also okay. So this feels like a 23rd card. 23rd card. Disenchant. I don't think that we'll ever see this card played in Constructed or Limited, ever. I just don't think it'll get played. I don't think that one of the most famous cards in the history of Magic would ever be played in Constructed. I can't imagine it. Disenchant, for any of you who don't know, this is an ancient card, right? 1 and a white for an instant speed, destroy target artifact. or enchantment, okay? So this this card is actually so OG and so pure in its construction that people call destroy target artifact or enchantment, they call that a disenchant effect. So this is just absolute staple goody goodness. This is just saying if you've played Magic, you're going to love to see your old friend. So I would give this probably a 3 out of 5 in constructed. It's a very sideboard-focused card because of its extremely narrow use cases. And also, this is a very situational, limited card as well. I don't really care too much for it. Boo! Come on. No. There we go. Emeria Captain. Ooh, we got some text to read. 3 and a white for a 1/1. Oh, bad. Angel Warrior, Flying Vigilance. When Emeria Captain enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party. Ooh. All right, let's talk about, first of all, super no and constructed, okay? Super no and constructed. If when you play the Emeria Captain and you have a full party, you have 4 of them, you have a 5/5 flyer with Vigilance. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's not just like, oh my god, oh, holy shit. This is very clearly a limited card. Now, in limited, I want to note one thing about the mechanics of this. When you play Emeria Captain, she is a warrior. So when she enters the battlefield, she counts with respect to the party size. So if you have an empty board and you play Emeria Captain, you have 1 creature in your party, this warrior. And so she will always be a 2/2 with Vigilance flying at worst. And so, if you have 1 other creature out and you play this, this is a 3/3 flyer with Vigilance for 4, which makes it okay. I love this kind of card in limited. I especially love the Vigilance keyword. If you can get this is your 3rd, if you have 2 creatures on the board, you play a Emeria Captain, a 4/4 flyer in limited is incredible. Gosh, I'd even call this maybe a 4 out of 5. I really, 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 really like that. By the way, Alberto Malach was helping answer a question from Iceman, who we're happy to see. Good to see you, Iceman. The man. How does Kicker work? You can cast Dauntless Unity for 2 and have a baby effect, or you can pay this plus this to get a big effect. So if you paid it normally, it would be 1 and a white. If you kicked it, it would be 2 white and 2 colorless because we sum the 2 mechanics. And Kicker cards are one of the most favorite it's just one of the most favorite mechanics in Magic, because have you ever had a card that when you draw it, if you were able to play it on turn 3 or 4, it would be amazing. But if you draw it on turn like 10, it sucks. Not with Kicker. You can have something like, I am a creature that's a 4/4, but if you kick me, I'm an 8/8. Now you're happy to draw it early, now you're happy to draw it late. Really good. One of the best mechanics ever thought about. Ooh, Emeria's Call. Let's see if... Oh my gosh. Can we give a shout out to Ed the Editor? Ed the Editor, a.k.a. Plankton, who does all of the highlight clips, uploads all the videos to the YouTube, all the thumbnails for Day 9 TV, creates these graphics for us, and sets up and organizes it. He's incredible. Just wonderful to work with. If any of you are looking to have an editor for your YouTube channel and would like to pay an excellent human being to do that, I have no idea if Ed has any availability. He might say no. Maybe he has a full-time set of jobs, and maybe you can't... I probably should have checked in advance. Look, Ed, you rule. That's the important thing. Now hurry up and do everyone's work. Surprise MF says, can I ask what happened to Narwhal's Ate My Sister? Oh yeah, dude. Narwhal's Ate My Sister. Fantastic human being. She just works in industry now. She's working in the games industry space. And she's kicking ass. We still keep in touch with her because she's the best. But anyways, the reason we were giving such props to Ed the Editor is because of the organization of this new type of card. Okay, so let's look at this. Emeria's Call, 4 triple white. Create 2 4/4 white angel warrior creature tokens with flying. Non-angel creatures you control gain indestructible until your next turn. Indestructible until your next turn. So if you have a board full of things, cast this. Boom! Pair of angels who can defend. You can swing straight in with all the rest of your indestructible non-angels until the next turn. So good. But you're probably noticing some weird shapes here. You see this sort of weird thing in the top left. Like if we back up, Emeria's Captain doesn't have that one, but this one has what looks like a mountain. And it's sort of like indicating to the other side, because on the other side of this card is Emeria Shattered Skyclave. It's a land. As Emeria Shattered Skyclave enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield tapped. So, I will walk through a number of significant mechanics, explanations to this. First of all, the idea is you could cast this from your hand as the spell, or you can flip it over and play it as a land. So, for instance, if I had a hand with 2 Emeria's Calls and all the rest spells, I technically have 2 lands, because I could play each of these Emeria's Calls flipped as Emeria Shattered Skyclave. And so, in terms of all interactions of cast a sorcery from your graveyard, or target player discards a land, or any of those things, is this card a land, or is it a sorcery? The card is always this side. It's this side. Unless you play it as a land, and then on the battlefield, it is a land. Okay, but if say, someone used a Field of Ruin to destroy this Emeria Shattered Skyclave, when it goes to the graveyard, it is treated as having a sorcery in your graveyard. So if you had a creature that said, get +1/+1 for each instant or sorcery in the graveyard, killing this land would put a sorcery in the graveyard. Okay? How does that card look on paper? It looks like a card on this side, and then you flip it, and it's a card on that side. So it just doesn't have a back. So you need to have a sleeve. You need to have a sleeve. Flip card's also one of the more popular mechanics, but this is an interesting variant on it, where it's a spell land. I think all of these cards are excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent cards. I think I would give all of them constructed 4 out of 5 minimum. The reason being that you can... doing land stuff, like how many lands should you have in your mana base, is going to start getting really weird, because let's say you want 26 lands in your deck. Maybe you run 22 and 4 Emeria Shattered Skyclaves. And then you basically have 26, but occasionally you'll draw this and you'll be able to cast it. This is just a sick card. Unbelievably sick. So this is great. I mean, again, I cannot stress enough to you how in any strategy game, the ability to consistently get resources is the best effect. In any strategy game where there's power growth, I should say, the ability to get more resources, more money, more mana, more expansions, that's the best. Everything related to that is broken. The best thing to spend your money on in StarCraft is workers. Never stop building workers. In Magic, can I consistently get land? This is why Opt is such a good card in blue. It just gives you consistency with being able to find your land, or doing things like discarding a land and then drawing more cards. So I think all of these are going to be amazing, 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 because imagine any 26 land Azorius control deck, and then replace 4 of those planes with Emeria's Call, and you basically have the same things. Okay? So this is just an incredible, incredible, incredible card. In truth, 7 mana for a pair of 4/4 white flying angel creature tokens is not that great by itself. It's just not that great. But it's the fact that it's a land that makes it absolutely hot plasma. Expedition Healer, 1 and a white, core cleric of vigilance. Expedition Healer has lifelink as long as you control another cleric. It's really interesting. There's a lot of clerics helping clerics kind of effects. Rogues helping rogues, warriors helping warriors. So it's like the party exists, the spread, but also the going deep on each of these tribes seems meritful. I would not want this in Constructed, but you always want 2/2 for 2s in Limited. That's always a sort of high value filler in the deck. You don't want to like build around it, but being able to get a little lifelink, and Expedition Healer is a cleric. There's other cards that proc off having clerics, such as this one. Another target cleric gains lifelink until end of turn. There's a lot of things that do this kind of effect. So I think this has some real merit in limited, but 2 out of 5. And it's a non-constructed. Farsight Adept, 2 and a white. Umara Wizard, when Farsight Adept enters the battlefield, you and target opponent each draw a card. Weird, huh? Pretty weird. Oh, by the way, Black Death says, physics question. Is plasma always hot? Can you make cold plasma with certain conditions? When it comes, my understanding is that when it comes to phase transitions, as in a solid going to a gas and the gas going to, or solid going to liquid, liquid going to gas, gas going to plasma, the temperature but also the pressure are the two relevant factors. So you don't just need higher pressure, you can also change you don't just need high temperature, you can also change the pressure to cause that to occur. But I think that there's measurable points that demonstrate the transition of things. So I don't know. It might be something like, for this particular material, it's 1,000 degrees Kelvin. And I'm like, that's some hot plasma right there. Like, I don't know. There was another notable thing that I wanted to say about science. Great point that Riley made. I think some of you know the etymology of plasma, which is that if you're in a situation where you're playing Magic and you have a lot of good cards in your hand, you got a handful of gas, right? Because you got gas in the tank. You have a lot of tools at your disposal. We're not pulling over to the side of the road and walking. No, we got gas in the tank. We got a handful of gas, right? And, of course, when you heat up gas, you get plasma. And that's the etymology of plasma. But what's interesting is that if you actually cool gas, you know what you get? You know what you get? You get something that's solid. Isn't it interesting how all of the various qualities of your hand can be described through some particular phase state of matter? This hand's solid. Oh, look at this draw. Now this hand is gas. Oh, unbelievable. This is hot plasma. And what about water? What about liquid? What about that? I don't know. Do you say my hand's wet? You do now. All right, welcome to Day 9 stream, where you can have a hand that's solid. Ooh, it's getting a little wet. Ooh, this hand's gas. We've drawn hot plasma. That's so good. Well, yeah, I guess you do get mana flooded, but I like the idea that the more, as the temperature increases, we get even better hand archetypes. Okay, Farsight Adept. Here's what's amusing to me about Farsight Adept. There are aggressive decks that are smashing out so many cheap creatures, they want draw, even if the opponent is getting draw. The classic example from sets of yore is it's like Storm Fist Avenger. It's like Anger Knuckle Rakdos person. There's a 2/2 with Menace, black-red creature that says at the start of each upkeep, or instead of your upkeep, each player draws a card and takes 1 damage. Cards like this that let you and your opponent both draw a card. Stormfist Crusader, thank you. The Anger Knuckle Knight. Cards like this that let you and an opponent each draw a card have some value if you have a ton of extremely cheap things and your opponent kind of has 3, 4, 5, 6 cost stuff. Because, hey, you're giving them an extra card, but they're never even going to be able to cast it. The aggro player, can cast it. So I'd actually give this like a 1 out of 5 in constructed. I can see some goodness coming out of it. In terms of limited, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. I give it like 2, maybe even a 3 out of 5. 3 for 3 feels good. It is a wizard, and it draws a card, and landfall's very relevant in all these things. I like it. Fearless Fledgling. Fearless Fledgling, 1 and a white for some adorable art. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Fearless Fledgling. It gains flying until end of turn. Very strong card. Very, 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 very strong card. Love this. Love this, love this, love this. I mean, frankly, if it just becomes a 3/3 for 2, great, terrific. This is ideal in a limited landfall deck. This is like a straight build-around, like, oh my, or not build-around, but like an important component to a landfall deck. That's the sort of piece to the puzzle that you can really help justify going more into landfalliness. It's really good. Not part of a party. Not a warrior, wizard, cleric, or rogue. Whoa. Okay, it's my favorite card in the set. The best... Oh, slaps Roof of Enchantment. You can fit so many cats into this bad boy. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, choose one. Create a 2/2 white cat beast creature token. Or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and they gain vigilance. And it only costs 4 mana. This is legal Field of the Dead. It's legal Field of the Dead. You don't even need to get to 7 lands to start making zomboids. You play this on 4, start playing cards that drop more than 1 land. It's so good. This is better merriment. This is everything I ever wanted. And then if you have an army of 2/2 cats, you can start swelling those cats up 4/4s, and then 5/5s, and then 6/6s. It's great. The card's great. It's really, really good in... actually, is this good in Limited? Yeah, no, it's great in Limited because you give... It's not as insane in Limited, but it means that every land is at least a 2/2 white cat. It also means that every land is at least a threat to end the game. But in Limited, you do have to play it, and you do nothing on the turn that it's played, and then you play a land, and then you play another land. But, I mean, it kind of, like, dips a little in Limited, and then it, like, swells up. If the format is fast enough, you can wind up playing Felidar Retreat and just losing your whole turn. And then the next turn, you just get a 2/2 out of it. So it's kind of like playing a 2/2 on turn 4. So this is still quite good in Limited. I'd give it like a 4 out of 5 in Limited. It does have like a little bit of vulnerability, but I genuinely, this is a 5 out of 5 card in Constructed for me. 5 out of 5. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you can build all sorts of landfall nonsense with this shit. This is so good. Oh, yeah. It works great with Arboreal Grazer as well. It's a very good combo. Journey to Oblivion. 4 and a white. Spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. When Journey to Oblivion enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until Journey to Oblivion leaves the battlefield. So this is Banishing Light. Alright. Occasionally it's Banishing Light for 1, but mostly it's Banishing Light for 3. You know, it's not that great. No, Arboreal Grazer is not rotating. Why would any of you think that? Like, seriously. Arboreal Grazer is so not rotating, I'm even willing to submit a deck to it when I'm hosting the Mythic Invitational and get called out on it on Sunday. I'm even willing to go that far. This is not that great in Constructed because of the fact that you would just run Banishing Light, which I think is still legal. But in Limited, this is just all-around solid removal. All-around solid removal, right? Not incredible, but, you know, solid. It exiles anything, which is quite nice. Yeah, no, it's okay. What does this art connote? What is this weird choice of art? What is this art? What are we looking at? Are we looking at, like, you know, Kool-Aid style, just smashing through? Journey to Oblivion, bam! Oh, yeah! I don't even know what we're looking at, man. Did someone come through to Oblivion? Is that supposed to be human-shaped? Whatever. Kabira Outrider. 3 and a white. When Kabira Outrider enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each creature in your party. Totally fine Limited card. 3/3 for 4. Really common stat line. Doesn't get me excited. It is a warrior, so it at least gives something +1/+1. But I'm never a big fan of these white effects that are like, enter the battlefield, and then one of your creatures is marginally stronger. They can do stuff, but I'm never fist-pumping about it. So this is like a Limited card. Not in Constructed, but I don't know. Even then in Limited, it's like 2 out of 5. I don't really give a shit. Kabira Takedown. Ooh, it's again one of these flippity-dippity-doos. Kabira Takedown deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Actually kind of sick. Because, wow, why you, what's going on? What's going on, huh? Alright, for some reason my computer decided that it wanted to just get everyone flashbanged a little bit. Kabir Takedown. This can enter the battlefield tapped. Now, if you are an aggressive deck, having your lands enter the battlefield tapped sucks. It really hurts a lot. But maybe you would run like 2 Kabira Plateaus as basically free land and a Kabira Takedown. I mean, if you can basically get some free removal. And when I say free removal, what I mean is you don't even have to cut anything from your deck to put it in. It's land. You know what I mean? Maybe the most important thing changing in rotation is all the shock lands are gone. Temple, Garden, Blood Crypt, Steam Vents, Stomping Grounds, all rotating out. You have no good dual lands anymore, period. Okay? So, well, I should be more specific. You don't have any good dual lands. A lot of shit enters the battlefield tapped. And so, given that there's that potential for a substantial slowdown, I do think that there's a lot more opportunity to run this kind of card. So I would actually give this like real constructive potential, like maybe 3 out of 5 in like Selesnya tokens or something like this. In limited, 5 out of 5. Premium, astounding, so good, incredible, amazing. So good in constructed or in limited. So good in limited because it's a instant that in a pinch is a land. Kitesail Cleric, 1 white for a 1/1. Flying, when Kitesail Cleric enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, tap up to 2 target creatures. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Double white and 2 to enter and tap 2 creatures for a flyer? Fuck yeah, man. This card's awesome. This card is just incredible. 1/1 for 1 that can come... Well, that's actually... No, this card blows. This card's fine. It's a fine card. I just get excited when I see things that I like. This art is really good, and I love kicker cards, okay? But it turns out I've lied to you already. I would give this card like 2 or 3 out of 5 in limited. Not constructed playable. Tapping things on the battlefield feels very mediocre for 4 if I'm white. What can you do? Core Blade Master. Oh, my neck is so tight somehow. 1 and a white. For a 1/1 Core Warrior double strike, equipped warriors you control have double strike. Okay. In case some of you didn't know, a 1/1 double striker for 2 is a common stat line. That's actually pretty common. I'm going to sit up here, man. For some reason, my neck is just... It's really sore because I've been trying to, like, exercise, and it's bullshit. Like, my body, it does not like this exercise nonsense. But anyways, Core Blade Master... A 1/1 for 2 with double strike is pretty common, historically. Equipped warriors you control have double strike. I do think that some sort of standard warriors deck could have some real merit, really do something good. So I would give this constructed 2 out of 5. Limited, probably 2. Are you ever going to get to work the double strike that much? Maybe a little bit. I do like double strike in limited because it can just make all your combat tricks insane. Yeah, so I'd give this a 4 out of 5 in all formats. I don't know. Core Celebrant, 2 and it's also a warrior. Very relevant. 2 and a white for a Core Cleric 1/4. Whenever a Core Celebrant or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. All right. Okay. Mono white life gain. I have a Daxos. I have a Core Celebrant. We're getting so swole. It is pricey Daxos, but keep in mind it is a 1/4. It's quite nice. Johnny's Pridemate is rotating? I don't think that's true, Jules. I don't think that's true. I think there's another Johnny's Pridemate that got reprinted. Legion Angel. Oh, shit. 2 and double white. Flying. When Legion Angel enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you own named Legion Angel from outside the game and put it into your hand. Okay, here's the thing. In Limited, a 4 mana, 4/3 flyer is very good. So this is a 4 out of 5 in Limited for sure. Would you ever run, if you pick 2 Legion Angels, would you ever not? Jules, Pride Mate was reprinted in a recent set. Anytime you look up a creature, you have to look not just at the set that you're currently looking at, but see if there was any new ones. I think it was an M21. But anyways, Legion Angel, would you ever pick 2 of these and not run both of them in your main deck in draft? Would you ever do that? Maybe. Pride Mate is rotating? Are we sure about this? Are we sure about this? Alright, I'm looking it up. Johnny's Pride Mate. Go back. Alright, Johnny's Pride Mate sets and printing. Here we go. The card is rotating. Alright, Legion's Angel. Yeah, I mean, I kind of would want to maybe just run both. Maybe, because, I mean, maybe the power is too concentrated, but, I mean, it's still good and limited, even if it didn't have this draw effect. In Constructed, that is fucking terrible. This card's not good in Constructed, and I'm going to take out my frustration about a Johnny's Pride Mate on this card. Luminarch Aspirant, 1 and a white for a 1/1. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. What? Oh my god! Can we get some 5s in the chat for me? Can we get some 5s in the chat? This card is so good. Uncommons are better than commons, and rares are better than them all. Look at this 5 out of 5. This card is hot plasma. First, it is a win condition in and of itself with literally no support. None. You need no support. You don't even need landfall. This card just does it. Oh my god. Constructed, going wide with White Weenie, with maybe doing some sort of Convoke? No, that rotate doesn't matter. Don't care. You play it once. So sick. This, I'm glad Pride Mate's out. This is a better Johnny's Pride Mate. Know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Woo! That's incredible. This is just, I mean, what more is there to say? It is a 2/2 for 2 that becomes a 3/3 for 2 that becomes a more and more and more and more for 2. Makindiox. Oh my god. Look at this absolute floating land fabulous ox. I don't even know what noise an ox makes. This ox is just giving some shade. Just, this is amazing. 4 and a black for a 4/4 landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature an opponent controls. Wow. I like this in Limited. I hate this in Constructed. If you try to build a Constructed deck with a Makindiox, I hate you. This is 4 and a white. So 5 mana 4/4 is alright. Land entering the battlefield every turn, proccing taps. Perfect card. You know, I'm a big believer in having like one finisher or two, you know, like a Cosmotronic Wave, like a all your opponent's creatures can't block, or give all of your creatures indestructible, or give all your creatures flying, or some stuff like this. This is like that, but just a little gentler. Like if you have a big dude and a small dude, I should play a land, tap the big dude, swing in. Play another land, tap the big dude, swing in, so on and so forth. This is great. This is great. Makindi Stampede. 3 and a pair of whites. Creatures until you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. And it enters the battlefield tapped. Just a good-ass card. Just a good-ass card. Minimum 3 out of 5 in both formats. Maybe even better. Minimum. Because, again, with good 2-colored lands rotating out. Players will only be able to run multicolored decks with lots of tap land, like a Triome that enters the battlefield tapped, like a Temple of whatever that enters the battlefield tapped and scries. So this slows the game down a little bit, meaning things like this entering the battlefield tapped is okay given that everyone else is entering tapped. But if you run like 1 or 2 of these in a constructed white weenies deck, I mean, 90% of the time it enters as a land, and then 10% you stampede him. Boom, done. Terrific. I mean, McKindy Stampede. All these cards that are land spells are just amazing. Just amazing, 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 amazing. Maul of the Skyclaves. 2 and a white for an artifact equipment. Uh-oh, before I even read anything more. Equipment historically sucks or is a Batterskull. When Maul of the Skyclaves enters the battlefield, attach to target creature you control. Nice. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has flying and first strike. Oh. That's really good. I mean, constructed, it's absolute. Dreck. There's a good word. Total dreck. But in Limited, this is quite nice. I'd give this a 4 out of 5 in Limited. I would be happy to pick this one up. Flying and first strike and +2/+2. Really good keywords to have. Really, really good keywords to have. The re-equip cost sucks, but if the gameplay is slow, I like it quite a bit. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 in Limited, and I would never play it in Constructed even if I was paid to. Oh my god, why does my neck hurt so much? No! Alright, gonna try to sit up straight. Mesa Lynx, 1 and a white. As long as it's not your turn, Mesa Lynx gets +0/+2. What a good cat. Oh my god, what a good cat. That's incredible. Yeah, okay, here's the thing. Not a good attacker. A 2/3 for 2 is pretty nice. Just above average in Limited. Like a 2.2 out of 5. Not a constructed playable card because you don't play 2-mana creatures because you're interested in defending. Yeah, no, this is just a Limited card straight up, but it's a very good cat, and I love the floaty land in the background. This cat wants a hug, and I want to hug the cat back. Randy Potato Feet, I love you, Day 9. You are great and handsome in the Mythic Invitational stream. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Randy Potato Feet. You're my #1 bot. Nahiri's Binding, 2 and a pair of whites. Enchant creature or planeswalker. Enchanted permanent can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Ooh, c'est intéressant. Clearly a Limited AF card, not a constructed card, because this is bad Banishing Light. So if I'm white and I want to try to banish stuff, I'm going to play Banishing Light. Okay? Limited, I would give it probably... I'm obviously a huge fan of removal in Limited. It's the double white that makes me rate it a 4 out of 5 in Limited. Double white sucks. It makes it very hard to just kind of splash in there. You know, something like any other kill effect, you know. But, I mean, it's the same sort of thing with Grasp of Darkness, which is great. Grasp is... But it's 2 black, so it's kind of hard to just include. So for that, I'd give it a 4 out of 5, because that's the mood I'm in today. I'm thinking a lot about mana bases, so anything that messes with the mana base is no good. Ondu Inversion. Destroy all non-land permanents. And it is a land. I mean, Ondu Inversion. And by the way, shout out to Ed the Editor for matching the lands like this perfectly. It's so good. Ondu Inversion. Wow. I mean, this is, again, every single one of these is minimum of 3. I would even give this a 4 or a 5 in Constructed, because it's a land, so it's kind of just free. And then you can just run it. And if you don't want a Planar Cleansing ever, just run it as the land, dude. Run it as the land, bruh. This is amazing. I love these cards. These cards are amazing. And then in Limited, the fact that you can just destroy all of everyone's everything. Woo! 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 God, God, these are so good. Yeah, and I want to stress something, because people in chat are saying expensive planar cleansing, which effectively this is an expensive planar cleansing. Phildar says, what does the symbol mean in the top left beside the name? It means that Ondu Inversion is on the front, and on the back of it is Ondu Sky Ruins. This and this are the same card. This is just two different sides of the same card. And you'll notice down here is a little indicator. You have a land, tap to add, and then you have a sorcery, do all this stuff. So, even though it is more expensive than a planar cleansing, the fact that you can just play it as a land, I cannot even express to you how fucking sick this is. This is like a marine in StarCraft that also generates one mineral every 30 seconds. Like, just make only that unit, man. Let's just go out of control. Let's make marines, baby. Paired Tactician. Paid Tactician. 2 and a white for a 3/2 human warrior. Whenever Paired Tactician end at least one other warrior attack, put a +1/+1 counter on Paired Tactician. I do think warriors are a legitimate archetype. Not just party, but warriors. So, limited, I want to actually give this a 4 out of 5. I like this a lot. Like a whole lot. There are many cards that we've seen thus far that do something like, whenever this enters the battlefield, target creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So you +1/+1 a small creature, and then you swing with that small creature and the Paired Tactician, and everything's quite large going in. There's a lot of cool synergies here. I like this card quite a lot. Not constructed playable. 0 out of 5 in constructed. Practice Tactics, 1 white. Choose target attacking or blocking creature. Practice Tactics deals damage to that creature equal to twice the number of creatures in your party. Unbelievable. Unbelievable and limited. What the fuck? That's unbelievable. You do need to have one creature in there to make this a... what's it called? Puncturing Blow? Profound Face Punch or some shit like that. There was an old white instant that was a white for instant speed, deal 2 to an attacking or blocking 1. But here's the thing that makes this unbelievable to me. It can be 1 white instant for 4 if you just have 2 creatures out, or for 6. The fact that the upside on this is so high. 1 mana, deal 4 is like, you know what? Dealing 4 damage is really hard to do in limited. Not a lot of creatures have 4 power. Not a lot of removal spells deal 4 damage. This deals 4. This deals 4. Teresa's issue is I'm worried about how often you'll even get 2 of a party on the board for limited. Extremely often. Crazy often. You're going to have a real easy time getting 2 out. I would say it's most of the time you'll have 2 creatures out. Pressure Point. Tap a creature, draw a card. This is a limited card. I kind of like how they're exploring adding tap effects into white in easier, sort of piggyback fashions. So, you know, this is a limited card. It's fine. It's a little combat trick. It's kind of cool. You know, kind of does something. Only really works ultra effectively in aggressive decks because you tap, swing in, draw a card, replace itself, yada, yada, yada. Prowling Felidar. Oh, look, it's my little cat, right? Bringing me leaves. 3 into white. Vigilance. Landfall. Whenever a land enters battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Prowling Felidar. This is a good one. This is a really good one. Yeah, by the way, guys, I do recognize that is the arm of a creature in the cat's mouth. I'm trying to suggest that my creatures bring me leaves, and this reminds me of my cats. If I saw this and said, this reminds me of when my cats bring me dismembered limbs from neighbors. Ooh, ooh. You should call the cops. But here, this is reminding me of Sheriff offering me a spinach leaf that has fallen from my turkey sandwich. What a good girl. Yeah, this is 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5. I think it's 3 out of 5. I just like the fact that it can grow. I like the fact that it can grow. Resolute Strike, a white instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a warrior, you may attach an equipment you control to it. What? I have heard the color pie in Magic described as black about necromancy and amorality and zombies and vampires, and green about land and nature and growth, and white about whatever the fuck white's about. That's how we hear white normally referred to. All like the other 4 colors have real strong identities, but it feels like there's been a little bit of drift with white, according to some, in the last, say 5-10 years. Like, what is it really good at? Are we pushing equipment now? Is equipment the thing? And this kind of feels like one of those. Equipment's the thing. This is perfectly acceptable combat trick in limited. Gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Being able to zap around a bunch of equipment. We've only seen one, so I don't know. I'm going to give this I'll figure it out at the end, out of 5. Seagate Banneret, 1 white for a 1/2 core warrior. Creatures you control get bigger. Clearly limited, clearly bad and constructed, clearly 1 out of 5. Absolutely indifferent towards the rest of this. Absolutely, straight up, okay? Bang. Tazri Shelter, 1 and a white instant. Target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn, and it's a flip land. Tazri Glacier, Tazri Shelter, Tazri. All these cards I'm giving 3 out of 5. Minimum 3 out of 5. This is one of the weaker Lando Spellos, but I mean, goodness, the fact that it could possibly be free. Oh! Anytime I think someone's going to make a 2-color deck, the question is not if you should include some of these spell lands, it's which of the spell lands should you include. So maybe if you're like, say, I don't know, feathers rotating, but like maybe a feather deck, you include a Tazri Shelter in it. Because it doesn't matter. Shepherd. I can't get this chair quite right. Shepherd of Heroes, 4 and a white. For a Flying Angel Cleric, when Shepherd of Heroes enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each creature in your party. I really like flyers. Okay? I really like flyers in limited. The fact this heals is okay. It's okay. Healing is fine. 0 out of 10 in constructed. Just the worst constructed card ever printed. Not a lot of things deal 4, so that really kind of turns me on. That really gets me going. That begins to make me vibrate. So I'd call this like 3 out of 5 in limited. This seems fine. It seems fine. Yeah. Skyclave Apparition. 2 and a pair of whites for a core spirit that's 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target, non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with converted mana cost 4 or less. When Skyclave Apparition leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the converted mana cost of the exiled card. Fuck. Extraordinary. 5 out of 5 constructed. Straight plasma. Are you kidding me? Is there a phase state above plasma? This is it. This is ridiculous. This is so good. Deputy of Detention. These types of prison effects. The prison being, I put your thing in prison until I leave the battlefield and then I'm let out again. The reason this is so nice is converted mana cost 3 or less. Shows up a lot. This is converted mana cost 4 or less. This is your opponent plays a questing beast. You can eat it. And then when the Skyclave Apparition dies, they just get a 4/4 back. This is incredible. Man. This is also really incredible for kind of removing obnoxious other threats. So if you, say, have a 3 mana enchantment, you exile that, and it becomes a 3/3 creature, which you can deal with. You can Skyclave Apparition an Uro or a Kroxa, And when the Skyclave Apparition dies, they have a 3/3 blue illusion or 2/2 blue illusion. 4 or less is really sick. There's some good 4-mana enchantments. Like, holy shit. I mean, that's really nice. 5 out of 5. Staggeringly good in Constructed. I'm not even going to analyze it in Limited because I have to leave on the high praise. This is the it shit. I love this. Collision, our resident physicist, says, above Plasma would probably go with the modifier Quark Gluon Plasma. This is straight QGP, baby. Skyclave Cleric, 1 and a white. When Skyclave Cleric enters battlefield, you gain 2 life. The card sucks, no one cares. Oh, but it's land. Alright, minimum 3 out of 5. Minimum 3 out of 5. You love it. You love to see it. This card's great. It's a cleric. Love it. Love it. It's incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. It can enter as a land. Love it. Squad Commander, 3 and a white. When Squad Commander enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token for each creature in your party. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructablement until end of turn. Okay, so this is a super bomb in Limited. Super duper bomb. Because this is a warrior. So if you have the other 3, you can get indestructible on every single combat phase bashing in. Also, if you don't, if you just have like 2 things, well, you have a 3/3 and a 1/1 and a 1/1. Love Squad Commander. Love to see it. Constructed, I don't really think that in Constructed you are ever going to be able to assemble full party with consistency. I don't think so, unless you have one of those like, this creature is all creature types. I don't know. I don't even know what happens if you control a rogue wizard. Is that just 1 creature in your party? I don't know. Smite the Monstrous. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Limited card, not running Constructed. This is a reprint. Love Smite the Monstrous. It's cool art. But any removal effect in white that is like the big stuff, it's okay. It's okay, right? It's only okay. It's not amazing because it's too conditional. Tazim Raptor, 2 and a white. When Tazim Raptor enters the battlefield, you may return a land you control to its owner's hand. Doesn't look great. But if you are a landfall deck and you are running out of land, because let's say every other turn you're drawing a land, and you want that landfall effect every turn, you can get Tazim Raptor, return a land back so you have one, and you can play it again. Trigger the landfall effects. So I give this a good rating, like 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 in Limited. I actually think it's that good. 2/2 flyer for 3, not going to inspire anyone, but 2/2 flyers can end games straight up, and this helps proc landfall, which is very, very nice. Tazri, Beacon of Unity. Now, this is the one I'm really interested in. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. Well, if you have a 1-mana warrior and a 2-mana cleric, you now have a 3-mana Tazri, Beacon of Unity. And that is pretty good. That is pretty good. Oh, by the way, I forgot to talk about the other reason why I think this card's like 4 out of 5. If you have one of these kinds of lands, like let's say you play Skyclave Basilica, and you're getting land flooded, you can bounce Skyclave Basilica to your hand with a return land to your hand, and then you can replay the Skyclave Cleric to take advantage of the flip side of it. So I really think that Tazim Raptor has interesting use case in that. But, you know, Tazri is a potential 3-mana 4/6. That's really good. And then you can do something like pay a bunch of mana, maybe 5, 6, 7 mana. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 of a bunch of these things. Put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So Tazri, Beacon of Unity, I kind of see as often a 3-mana 4/6. That's pretty good. And if your game's going on long, You can just start digging for cards in there. I mean, I really like this. I'd call this limited 4 out, probably limited 5 out of 5 actually, and then constructed 3 out of 5. Constructed 3 out of 5. And Quetz Gaming, I'm gonna answer this question. I've talked about it here and there, but I'm gonna keep repeating it. And I'm glad people keep asking. Quetz Gaming says, "How viable do you think the party deck can work in constructed?" I think that the way I will be evaluating parties is that parties are going to be 2 ofs. You'll have warriors and wizards, and that's it. Or you'll have clerics and warriors, and that's it. And you look at every card as the spell costs 2 less to cast. That's why I keep saying 3 mana, 4/6. I think it's going to be very, very easy to have 2 different creature types. Like you have 8 1-drops, 4 wizards, 4 clerics. You have, say, 12 2-drops, 6 warriors, 6 wizards, whatever the fuck I said. You have like wizard warrior 1-drops, wizard warrior 2-drops, then you just play Tazri. That's the way I think that this is going to function. I think of it. Oh yeah. This is a good way to describe it. Groove Mansory says there's going to be a lot of incidental value with the party mechanic. That's how I think of it. All right, we did it. Took me 65 minutes to discuss the intro and do all the white cards. We're trying to do 1 hour per color, followed by 1 hour for the multicolor, artifact, and land. So, keeping good pace, keep going to the face. Anti-cognition. This is an image of someone that's on Facebook too much. Anti-cognition, 1 and a blue. Counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, instead counter that spell, then scry 2. Holy fuck! 5 subs from Iceman 1014. Thanks, Iceman. Good transition. Really helping me out here. Holy shit. I really like this card. Okay. Essence Scatter. 2 mana, 1 and a blue, counter creature spell. Big bada boom. This counter target creature or planeswalker spell. Ooh, that opens it up. What about this text, unless its controller pays 2? Okay. Have we ever had a spell that's 1 and a blue that says counter a spell unless its controller pays 2? Yes, it's Quench, which was main decked a good amount. Very situational, but Anti-Cognition has the follow-up text. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in the grave, instead counter the spell, then scry 2. So I feel like it takes some of the good parts of Quench, good parts of Essence Scatter, and levels them up to also include Planeswalkers. Hey, surprise MF, gifting 5. Surprise MF, I hope you're doing well and wisely on this fine Tuesday. Anti-Cognition is fucking good. Fucking really good. Especially because there's a rogue mechanic laced through the set that basically says, we're rogues and we love putting stuff in the graveyard, and we benefit from it. So, welcome to the rogue stuffs. Also good and limited. Being Veil. Being. I can't turn it in tomorrow. I'm being on my work. Being Veil. Actually, it just sounds like someone with a sinus infection trying to say, like, benign veil. Creatures your opponent control gets -2/-0 till end of turn. And it's a land. This card's fucking bad. Hate it. Sucks. Never going to be excited about it ever. Any blue card that says you get -2/-0 until the end of turn. I hate these cards. I hate these cards. I hate -2/-0. -1000 out of 5. Offensive out of 5. I hate these. Someone at Wizards who happens to like, oh, I disable your ability to deal damage to this turn, but I don't affect your toughness because I don't even have a good way to ever deal any damage to your creatures. No. I don't like it. You're probably going to be able to make it work. I'm not going to pick it. Pass to the left. I would actually give this a -2/-0 out of 5. Ooh, damn, some lemon typed it right before I said it. Fuck. I thought it was mine. I thought I was the joke guy. Damn it. Bubble Snare. Bubble. Just a single blue, an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Bubble Snare enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, Tap Enchanted Creature. Enchanted Creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Oh. Oh my god. This is really well designed. This is really well designed. Bubble Snare. Okay, occasionally your opponent will attack with a big scary thing, and then for 1 blue, you can make sure it never untaps again. Or it's just a Capture Sphere. Capture Sphere was 3 and a blue for a flash enchantment. Tap a thing and doesn't untap during its untap step. This is a little pricier than that on the kick, but it's a little cheaper than that not on the kick. So I like this quite a bit. I'd give it a 4 out of 5 in limited. The blue removal, the Capture Sphere type mechanic, is the only removal in limited that I don't get straight smiley about. But you know, it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. You know, what can you do? What can you do? Cascade Seer, 3 and a blue. When Cascade Seer enters the battlefield, scry X, where X is the number of creatures in your party. Okay, so it's scry 1. This is fine. This is just like 3 out of 5. I'm happy to have a 4-drop. Let me make sure I have one of these. You know, it's like whatever. You don't play it in Constructed. The art's good. The card's okay. It's all fine. Is it amazing? No. Do we care that much? No. This is just, you know what? I just don't like these blue cards. I'm not into them. Not into them. The entire blue set was ruined for me when I saw the Beyin Veil. They can become the Beyin Coast. I'm going to pick this card, just run it as land, just to really show the flip side that I don't give a shit. Coolest blue card in the set, okay? Coolest blue card in the set. A 0/17 for 4. Spells your opponent casts that target Cherax the Raging Isle cost 2 more to cast. Cherax gets +X, -X until end of turn, where X is the number of islands you control. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Who thought of this? It's a 0/17. I don't know. I don't even know how to analyze this, okay? Because I'm used to being like, oh, a 3/3 for... Oh, come on, technology, work with me. I'm used to just like, oh, a 3/3 for 4 is a reasonable stat line. I'm not used to like, oh, a 0/17. Ooh, you know? I mean, this is amazing. I mean, the fact that you can get something like a 0/17... I mean, here's the thing. It's never getting removed. It's never getting removed by red. Ever. You make this wall... I mean, yeah, have an Embercleave. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Is this card broken? I think this is broken. I think this is just disgusting. I mean, I might be an idiot. Like, someone would say, well, at 4 mana, why would you want to play an 0/17 crab when you could cast a sweeper like Wrath of God? I don't know. I can't say. But in my eyes, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 in Constructed and a 5 out of 5 in Limited. I think this card is fucking dope. This is rad. This is amazing. This is it. This is it. Chilling Trap. 1 blue. Target creature gets -4, -0 until end of turn. If you control a wizard, draw a card. Actually kind of good. Actually kind of rad. Is it in limited? If you are an Is It spells deck, you have wizards, you have spells, you want lots of cheap cycly wikely woos, and this is a perfect card for that. God, I love cards that are -4, -0. Love them so much. It's the reason I play blue in limited. Chilling Trap is incredibly nice. That's great. That's really, really great. Oh yeah, that's not a constructed card, but limited. Ugh. Not constructed, because, you know, what if you don't have any creatures on the other side? Cleric of Chill Depths. 1 and a blue. Whenever Cleric of Chill Depths blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. What a sick card. What a sick card. Oh my god. What? I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 in limited. I love this card. I love this card. I love this card. Oh my god. Cleric of the Chill Depths. You need to chill out with your Cleric of the Chill Depths. Look at this. What a limited. Oh, I love this one. Here's why I love it. A 1/3 for 2 is a blocking stat line you're always looking for in blue and limited. Also, it's a cleric. Extremely important for the party mechanic. And if you chump against a big thing, it doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And look, it's eating a lollipop. Look at this amazing cosmic lollipop. That is so good. Dog shit in constructed. Concerted defense, 5 out of 5. Period. I love concerted defense. To me, this is new Spell Pierce. To me, this is a new Spell Pierce. Okay? This is really, really, really good. Again, I typically envision that you will only ever really have 2 out. You might have a wizard and a cleric out with concerted defense in the hand, but 1 mana counter spells that make your opponent have to pay 1 more, or excuse me, 2 more is really good. HUD Orange says strictly worse Spell Pierce. Technically, no, because it can be a worse Spell Pierce if you have no creatures out, or it can be like a better Spell Pierce if you have more dudes out. But, I mean, for me, the fact that you could have, like, a wizard out and then it's Spell Pierce, the fact that you could have 2 things out and then it's a Spell Pierce plus 1, ooh. I mean, I really think that this is going to be very, very, very good. Probably a little worse in limited. Probably a little worse in limited with the extra mana that winds up floating in limited, but love it, love it, love it, love it. Cannot get enough of it. Confounding Conundrum. 1 and a blue. When Confounding Conundrum enters the battlefield, draw a card. Always love to see it on an enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, if that player had another land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, they return a land they control to its owner's hand. Eat shit Uro. Oh my god. You get 1 land a turn. Get out of here. Can you imagine someone scape shifting? Ooh, can you imagine? Prime time. Can you imagine that? Primeval Titan. Anytime Primeval Titan enters a battlefield or attacks, search your library for 2 lands and put them onto the battlefield. Ooh. Can you imagine playing a Fabled Passage, then cracking it, getting a land, and then having to bounce a land because you got confoundingly conundrumed? Absolute jank out of 5 / modern out of 5. Limited? No. Don't even pick it. But in older formats? Oh, man. Oh, that's very good. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, if I have a Field of Ruin and you play a land, I can Field of Ruin your thing, and then you get another land. You have to bounce something. Oh, yeah. Love this. Absolute. Oh, love it. Coral Helm Chronicler. Does everyone remember that there are 3 types of silence? Does everyone remember? In The Kingkiller Chronicles by Patrick Rothfuss, the only 2-book trilogy that will ever exist, the chronicler goes and seeks out a living legend to record his autobiography. I love the Kingkiller Chronicles. I love Kvoth looking at a beautiful maiden, refusing to speak to her, while he debates the difference between the words slim and slender. I've never read prose that was more like watching someone masturbate in front of a mirror, but by God did I love those books. Those books were good. I just spat on my camera. Hold on. I use my lens wipes. Okay. Listen, if you have read Pat Rothfuss' work, you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Okay, here we go. Hold on. And the chronicler. You look beautiful. Yeah, you needed a good look. You're such a good Chet. Here you go. You're so good. You're so sweet. Yeah. Oh, you're so good. Yeah, love you so much. Give me a little scratch. There you go. There you go. You're good. You're a good little guy. Coralhelm Chronicler, 2 and a blue. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever... Tresta says, thanks, Day 9. I needed to get that face cleaning. You got it, big boy. Whenever you cast a kick card, draw a spell, then discard a card. When Coralhelm Chronicler enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a card with a kicker ability from among them and put it into your hand. Ooh! Put the bottom, rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Ooh! Now, in Limited, I would give this, assuming that you have kicker cards, this is just a solid 5 out of 5. It's not an exciting 5 out of 5, but it's a solid 5 out of 5, right? Kicked cards function better when they're kicked. When can you kick? Later in the game, when you have more mana. What helps you get later to the game? Having creatures in the way to block and to delay. Perfect. When Coralhelm Chronicler comes out in Limited, what do you not want? If you're a kicker-focused deck with not a lot of landfall, you want to get your land out so you can kick things, draw cards, discard cards. Perfect. Great. Coralhelm Chronicler, I'd give a very strong rating Limited. I don't actually know how this is going to function in Constructed. I don't actually know how this is going to function in Constructed. I don't really know how this is going to work. So I won't. Cunning Geyser Mage, 2 and a blue. It's a human wizard. When Cunning Geyser Mage enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, return up to 1 other target creature to its owner's hand. It's a 6 mana kicked guy. Alright, it's a Limited out of 5 card. It's your solid 2 out of 5 Limited card. I think that's fine. Maybe it's a 2.3 out of 5. Maybe it's a 2.3 out of 5. Maybe it's just a 2.3 out of 5. Because it doesn't do anything that gets me excited. This Geyser Mage is absolutely going hog wild on his Lizard Pal, but other than that, it's a 3-2. It swings in. Is it perfect? Let's say for Is It decks, this might be perfect when you get late, but is it perfect? No. Deliberate. This art is great. Scrytooth and draw a card. Super solid. Super solid. Incredibly solid. It's great. It's fantastic. This is really, really good. 5s. Did you give it 5s? It's great. Right? Reminds me of Ponder. Yeah, what is Ponder? Ponder is... Is Ponder actually Scry... Yeah, I mean, Scrytooth then draw a card's pretty good. Pondopter. It's fair Ponder. Yeah. 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 It's fine. Scrytooth then draw a card. Ooh, maybe... Yeah, because I realize that there's a lot of those. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck and put 1 into your hand. This is that, but like worse, because you're only looking at the top 2 cards and putting 1 of them in your hand or something random in there. Whatever. This seems fine. This seems fine. It's probably going to be a fine card. I mean, Own to the Sea. It's the same shit. It's good. It's good. Oh, you're right. It costs the same as Opt when you have an Electromancer. Ooh, oh my god. Is it Tempo Dex? Ooh. Expedition Diviner. 3 and a blue. Flying. As long as you control another wizard, Expedition Diviner has, when this creature dies, draw a card. Oh. Oh my god. 4 out of 5 Limited. Oh my god. 4 out of 5 Limited. Oh my god. Whew. Oh, I love this. A flying 3/2. I love it. And then it can die and replace itself. I love it. Oh, yeah. I'm into I'm into this card. Is it good in Constructed? Field Research. 2 and a blue. Which you can kick for 2 and a blue. For a total of 4 and 2 blue. Draw 2 cards. If the spell was kicked, draw 3 cards instead. Divination that can be upgraded to become Divination. It's fine, fine. You want like a Divination if you're in blue, it's fine. Divination's a fine card. Divination, for any of you who don't know, is 2 and a blue, draw 2 cards. Super simple, the archetypical card draw costing thing. So this is... It's fine. It's just a limited 2 out of 5. It's Drek. It's just pure Drek. Glacial Grasp, 2 and a blue. Tap target creature. Its controller mills 2 cards. That creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. Draw a card. What is this? It does all of it? This card was designed by an octopus. Tap a creature. Mill 2. It doesn't untap. Draw a card. That's got to be good. That's got to be good. It's an instant, too. That's got to be really good. What is that? That's probably a 4? That's probably a 4? I'd give it a 4 out of 5. It has a lot of text, so... I mean, the only problem with this card in Constructed is that it taps a creature. It's all about tapping a target creature. If you don't have a target creature to tap, it doesn't do anything. So it's kind of irrelevant in Constructed because of how frequently that won't be the case. But, you know, outside of that, Plasma. Yeah, absolutely. Tressed Out is on point, saying this card is the embodiment of blue minus it countering a spell and flying. Yeah, straight up. Glasspool Mimic, it's a flipper. It's a flipper. It can be a land, too. 2 and a blue. You may have Glasspool Mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. What? So it has base, power, and toughness 0 and 0. So if you don't have something to copy, it's nothing. Copying creatures seems good. And it's a land. I think it's a 5 out of 5. I think it's a 5 out of 5. I think it's very, very, very good. Again, for Constructed, take any mana base, snip off 2 of the islands, and instead of putting in, say, 2 Castle Vantresses, put in 2 Glasspool Mimics. Sometimes they're going to be just entering tap. But also, you can just have it copy a great, great, great creature. If you have some of them, perfect. This is great. This is great. All right. Inscription of Insight. 3 blue that you can kick for 2 and another pair of blues. So you can pay triple blue and 5. That's 8 total. Choose 1. If the spell was kicked, choose any number instead. So we can pay 4 to return up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hands. Okay. We can scry 2 and draw 2. Okay. We can create an XX blue illusion creature token where X is the number of cards in their hand. How is this? I want to say that this is terrible in Constructed because like sorcery speed for any of these effects in blue is just BA dog shit. This is not good. This is not good. I'm going to say 0 out of 5 in Constructed. That's the hill I think I'm going to be dying on in this set review. That's a 0 out of 5. No, do not like it. One of the things that is nice is this target player creates an XX blue illusion token. I actually don't know what order these things resolve in. I think all of them happen at the same time. I think they all happen at the same time. So you can't do something like draw 2 cards and then target. written order. Okay, so if we go top to bottom, I will always draw 2, and okay, so in other words, they resolve with this first, this second, this third, but that is one entity on the stack. So you can't, for instance, draw 2 and then decide who you want to target for this thing or something like that. Or you can't draw 2 and then your opponent could like interrupt, make you discard, and then you'd create it. It all just happens on the same tick, but there is an order to it. I think that's correct. I think that you can't do things midway through. Yeah, I got it right. All right, so that said, garbage and constructed, because I never want to spend 8 mana at sorcery speed. Limited, though, seems really nice and limited. It's perfect limited card. Bounce your stuff, draw my stuff, make a big thing. Perfect. To the next one. Into the Royal. Oh my god, look at that art! Oh my god, 1 in a blue? Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand if the spell was kicked. Draw a card! Oh my gosh, it's Blink of an Eye, isn't it? Blink of an Eye was great. This is amazing. This is just a terrific card. 5 out of 5 constructed, 5 out of 5 limited. Tempo, card draw, instant speed. It's amazing. It's amazing, 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 amazing. This is absolutely a constructed worthy card. You wouldn't do it in huge volumes, but one of the great things about return target non-land permanent is that, you know, if you're like white and you can deal with enchantments and artifacts, if you're, say, black, you can deal with direct creature removal, or red can blow up creatures. You know, there's all these different card types that the different colors are good against. But anytime it says non-land permanent, it's a really nice catch-all for weird fringe decks. So, for instance, let's say that you were a blue deck, mono blue, and you were having kind of a lot of trouble with, like, this particular enchantment hitting the battlefield. Into the Royal is a nice way to deal with that indirectly. So, like Felidar Retreat. I play it, and then you Into the Royal, return it to the hand, and poke me for a little bit. I replay it, you Into the Royal again, poke me in the face, that sort of thing. That's one of the reasons why this effect, even though bouncing things we don't typically consider amazing and constructed, when it's attached at instant speed with card draw, it's just terrific. I love it. Jace Mirror Mage. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1 and a pair of blues for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. Kicker 2. When Jace Mirror Mage enters the battlefield, if Jace was kicked, create a token that's a copy of Jace Mirror Mage, except it's not legendary, and its starting loyalty is juste 1. +1 to scry 2. Okay. 0, draw a card and reveal it. Remove a number of loyalty counters equal to that card's converted mana cost from Jace Mirror Mage. Okay. So you basically kick Jace, use the first Jace to scry 2, and then you use the second Jace to draw a card and reveal it, killing the 1 loyalty Mirror Mage Jace. This is a little bit easier to cast and a little bit weaker than, like, say, the Teferi Hero of Dominaria effect. Specifically the +1. You can also just scry and draw a land and start drawing multiple cards in turn, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's some... This card's got to be a 5. It has to be a 5, because at the very least, if you kick Jace Mirror Mage, you can generally draw somewhere between 1 and 4 cards without much difficulty. I like it, and I like the design too. I think it's cool. I mean, hell, you can play it on turn 3. So, go Jace. Jwari Disruption. Oh, yeah! Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. 6 out of 5. Are you kidding me? It's a censor land. I mean, censor is good because it can be cycled, but for the same reason. Yeah. Censor land. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. What a terrific card. What just an extraordinary, unbelievable card. Wow. Holy shit. Early game, there are... Okay, let me explain. Good control decks in Standard are all about the 2 mana slot. You really want to do impactful stuff for 2 mana. You really, really want to do that. This is the reason why Censor is considered such a vital card. It is a 2 mana counter any spell unless its controller pays 1. Censor is a very popular card due to the fact that if for some reason your opponent casts a good combo-y thing on turn 2, 3, or 4 with no mana left up, you just counter it easily with 2 mana. But if you don't wind up using it, you can just cycle it. This was a big problem with Quench, is that Quench was such a good card early on, and it was absolute garbage late. With Jwari Disruption, you just play the land. With Censor, you just cycle the card. It's perfect. I mean, Jwari Disruption is so good. 6 out of 5, straight up and constructed. Love it. And by the way, since this will be getting asked with some frequency, this is the front, this is the back. For the purposes of, say, it's in your graveyard or it's in your hand, this is an instant. So if you thought erasure me, I can't flip it around and go, it's a land! You can't do it. It's an instant. The card is always on the front. 6 out of 5. This is the most powerful card I've seen yet. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Living Tempest. 3/3 flash flying. Really bad. Really bad. And I feel incredibly uncomfortable that I can look directly into the Living Tempest's butthole. Whew. That is not a kind of Facebook photo that I want to see. If this were Tinder, I would swipe left. I want a little bit more modesty with people that I know. Flash flying 3/3 for 5 mana. Yeah. Elklodge says, are you sure that's a butthole? Absolutely. Absolutely. Zero doubt in my mind. I mean, you might actually think that everything just is swirling up like this, but right in the middle, in the eye, that's when there's absolutely no pressure. It just falls right out. It doesn't even feel a thing. Okay. Lull Mage's Domination. Oh, would I rate this? 0? Terrible? I don't even like it that much in Limited. Lull Mage's Domination. Ooh, I see a triple blue and an X. X is my favorite casting cost in Magic. The spell costs 3 less to cast. If it targets a creature whose controller has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, gain control of target creature with converted mana cost X. Oh. 4 in constructed. 4 in constructed. 4 in constructed, okay. 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Oh, HG Rose, no, my pet card is Felidar Retreat. Slaps Roof of Enchantment. Love Felidar Retreat. Entrancing Melody. 2 blue and X. Very good at snatching, yoinking all sorts of tokens and things like this. If there are strong token generators, Lull Mage's Domination is slightly more expensive than that. But we fully anticipate that there will be lots of cards that mill. It's in blue and black like crazy in this set and in the previous ones. So we can start filling that graveyard kind of trivially easily. Hell, a lot of those Uro players want to fill up their graveyard. So you Lull Mage's Domination for 3 and just snag a bunch of good shit. Love this card. Very, very good. In Limited, it's slightly less amazing, but I'd still give it like a 4 out of 5. I mean, you just get to nab control of a bad boy. Maddening Cacophony. It's pronounced cacophony, but I like saying cacophony because it's funnier. Maddening Cacophony. 1 and a blue. Kicker, 3 and a blue. Each opponent mills 8 cards. If the spell was kicked instead, each opponent mills half their library rounded up. Wow. What? I mean, make no mistake, incredibly narrow use case, right? Incredibly narrow use case. But also make no mistake, milling 8 for 2, I don't know if I've ever seen. That's so many cards to mill. Holy shit. I almost like don't want to make a big deal about this card because I don't want anyone to notice. Like if I don't make a big ruckus, maybe everyone will forget that this exists. Ooh. Master of Winds. 2 and a pair of blue for you. Creature Sphinx Wizard. Flying, when Master of Winds enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. Nice. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery or wizard spell, you may have Master of Winds' base power and toughness become 4/1 or 1/4 until end of turn. Don't like it in Constructed. It's very clunky and Constructed, but limited, it's just an absolute stunning bomb. Absolute stunning bomb. I mean, good lord. 4 mana for effectively a flying 4/1 that draws 2 cards and discards a card. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, I really, really like it. It's just a big flyer that can defend itself. That's terrific, and it draws a card. Wonderful. Merfolk Falconer. Flying. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, scry 2. Flying 4/4s for 5. That's really good. 4 out of 5 in limited. 4 out of 5 in limited. Not just too slow and Constructed, but really nice. Really love it. Really, really love it. I don't even care that much about the kick spell part. That's just gravy on top. 4 out of 5 for a flying 4/4 for 5. Yeah. Merfolk Wind Robber. Uh-oh, hide your wind. Here comes the Wind Robber, here to scoop it into baskets. Whenever... Ooh, it's 1 blue for a 1/1. Whenever Merfolk Wind Robber deals combat damage to a player, that player mills a card. Remember, blue and black rogues, big on the mill. Sacrifice Merfolk Wind Robber. Draw a card. Activate this ability only if an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard. Oh my god, yes! Yes, 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 yes. 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 What are you doing? Get this card going. Run this with concerted defense. Look at this shit. Look at this, is amazing. You have a 1/1 flyer that starts ping-pong and someone targets it, you just sack it and redraw. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's so good. It flies. Holy crap. I love it. Negate, counter target non-creature spell. Nimble Trap Finder. 1 and a blue. Nimble Trap Finder can't be blocked if you had another cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Really? At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, creatures you control gain, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. I really view this as a 2/1 for 2 that is often unblockable. That's what I think. That's what I think. This card is garbage. Absolutely don't run it. It is just a 0 out of 5 in Constructed. Doesn't work. You don't want to run the Nimble Trap Finder. You don't want to run it. You know what you want to do? Run a flyer. You get it? Do you understand? That's how you do it. That's how it works. Get it out of here. Not good. Limited? Ping pong in for a little bit of damage. You go a little bit party action, you know, a little bit wide, get in there. But even in limited, I mean, 2. 1.8 even. Don't like the Nimble Trap Finder. I think it's a Nimble Bad Finder. Don't like it. Don't want to run it. Get it the heck out of there. Whiz in Whiptide. 2 and a blue. Whenever you cast a kicked spell, or Risen Riptide has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. I like a wall. I like a wall. I like big walls, but more importantly, I like crab walls. But this is not the crab wall. This is just a Riptide wall. Do we want to kick and make it a 5/5? I can kind of actually see it being good. This, I'd give it 3 out of 5 in limited. I like it in limited, huh? You can do some really cool, nifty, sweet, nice stuff. We can do some neat, nice, nifty, thrifty stuff. You have a 0/5, blocks, controls, hangs on, and then maybe you cast some kick spells and now have a 5/5 bonker. I actually think it has some merit. It's not a constructed card, though. There is no such thing as Kicker Tribal. Roost of Drakes enchantment. You can kick it for an extra 2 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. Whenever you cast a kick spell, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. Okay. 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 Kicker Tribal. Alright? Kicker Tribal. It's like... It's one of these like build-around cards in Limited where if you see a Roost of Drakes early or you're starting to get a lot of kicker cards early, you can pick up a Roost of Drakes and just get some nice value. But it's just not... This really does not seem to be a constructed playable card. I mean, if you want this effect, you run a Felidar Retreat. I don't see a reason why you would run this. Yeah, I still give it a 3 out of 5 in limited because you need to cast several kick spells to feel good value. Four mana 2/2 flyers, worst case in limited. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. Definitely way better than Griffinary. Definitely way better. Ruin Crab. Oh, look out. This crab is tough. We got a Ruin Crab, ladies and gents. Alright. 1 blue for a Ruin Crab. Creature, Crab. 0/3. Whenever a land on this battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. Oh. I hate getting milled out in limited. I hate it so much. I hate it. Okay? I hate getting milled out in limited. Do you understand me? I hate it. I hate it. Don't get away from me. Ooh, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. And it's a land that you can pay life to enter untapped. Oh, 5. Look, 20 out of 5. 20 out of 5. Astounding, incredible, unbelievable, edible. I mean, just amazing, amazing cards. This is sick. Pair them with fetch lands. You can't. This is not a land. In the deck, in the hand, and in the library, this is a sorcery. It happens to be able to be a land conditionally, but it's not a land. More importantly, it's not even an island, so most fetch lands are like, look for an island, something like that. But even if it was like prime time. Hutter Wrench says, I meant the crab. Sure, yeah. Play a fetch land, mill for 3, fetch the land, mill another one. Anyways, I mean, this is amazing. You play it as a blue source. You just keep playing it as blue sources, and occasionally you draw it late game in a blue control deck, and you just draw a shitload of cards. It's so good. It's so good. So good. I love this. Love this. Might be a little too pricey for limited. He's okay. I would run it anyways. Seagate Stormcaller. 1 and a blue. Kicker for 5, making it a total of 7. When Seagate Stormcaller enters the battlefield, copy the next instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 2 or less you cast this turn when you cast it. If Seagate Stormcaller was kicked, copy that spell twice instead. This has got to be amazing, right? This has got to be astounding. This is like 6 out of 5 constructed. 6 out of 5 limited. Maybe a little weaker limited. Maybe like a 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 limited. Good lord. I mean, this is disgusting. This is disgusting, okay? So you're on turn 3. You play Seagate Stormcaller. Then you play an instant or sorcery card with converted mana cost 2 or less. And just draw. That's really good. Good lord. That's incredible. This has to be broken. This has to be broken in some regard. There's some way where this is broken. Getting to, just for 2, copy a spell twice is really good. I mean, there's also the, oh yeah, Time Walk. Yeah, that's a good one. One of the other reasons why I anytime there's like a really cheap, easy to do copy a thing effect that leaves a body as well. I mean, a lot of times you will, let's say you're some sort of Jeskai control deck, so you have access to blue, you have access to red. Sometimes you'll want to cast 2 shocks or 2 lava coils or something like this. Imagine playing Seagate Stormcaller, lava coil against an aggressive deck, and I still have a body left over. Oh, but maybe they only have 1 creature out here, so you lava coil the 1, and then later you play Seagate Stormcaller, and then a card draw spell, and then you draw, and then you draw. You have the flexibility with this, and you still get the body left over. I mean, okay, love it. Love it. Seafloor Stalker. 2 and a blue. Seafloor Stalker gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature in your party. So most of the time it's this is a rogue, so this effect is maximum, it's 3 and a blue. Solid, super solid. 3 mana 2/3s, 3 mana 3/2s, always wind up in draft decks, always good, but it can itself end the game. Pretty straightforwardly. 4 out of 5. I like it quite a bit. You don't need any party focus or creatures like that in your entire deck. You could get Seafloor Stalker, and just have all the rest control decks, and this is your win condition, right? Just delay, and then start paying 4 mana per turn to let it bash through. Again, it says 5, but it costs 1 less for each creature in the party. This is a creature in the party. Love it. Shell Shield. I'm very, very grateful that the team, the creative team that does the naming here, didn't name it something like Seashell Shield. Because it's so easy to start calling you Seashell Shield when you're in the commentary booth when you're doing the hosty toasties. Wow, tell me about that Seashell Shield. And he, because Shell Shield. It's just the sh noise, and I can handle that. 1 blue, kicker 1. Ooh. Target creature you control gets +0/+3 until end of turn. If the spell is kicked, that creature also gains hexproof until end of turn. Oh, really cheap Shell Shield spell. Really cheap. Seems really mediocre. It's a pricier dive down. It's like dive down for limited. It's a limited card. Would I run it in constructed? I don't know. There's a thing that I really don't know that much about, that I don't think that my even my precognitive mind will struggle to predict it. I don't really know how slow Standard's going to get. Losing Shocklands just decimates so many curves. So, I should say decimates curves in multicolored decks. And multicolored decks, on average, has a higher power level than single color decks. I should say more like by definition. So with Shell Shield, Dive Down was good enough. 1 mana is really, really relevant for this. Or I should say 1 mana is really relevant for Dive Down. And this is 2 mana, so I don't know! On to the next one. Saloon Division. 2 and a blue. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant or sorcery card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. What? And it can be a land? 12! 12 out of 5! 34 out of 5. This card is gross. This card is gross, gross, gross. This is an island that sometimes you're like, you know what? I really need to dig 6 deep to find a Wrath. I really need a dick. Yeah, it's not an island. I'm sorry. It's a blue source. I by the way, I still flip that language too much. By the way, this is not an island in particular, as we literally were just describing about 15 minutes ago. We literally just got done saying that its land type was not an island. It's just a land. But it produces blue, and in terms of the Day 9 vernacular, if it produces blue, there's a little bit of island inside of it. A little bit of island in the soul. But Saloon Division, look at the top 6 cards of the library. Reveal an instant or sorcery from among them. Put them in. Shit. For 3. Fuck, that's good. Just insane. I mean, it's less insane in limited because, you know, you typically don't have your instants and sorceries as your power cards. You typically have creatures, big planeswalkers, big enchantments with repeated effects being your power cards. But, I mean, it's fine in limited. But this is a constructed dream card. Oh my god. Skyclave Plunder. 4 and a blue. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is 3 plus the number of creatures in your party. Put 3 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So let's say I have no creatures. I would look at the top 3 cards and put them into my hand and the rest on the library in a random order. So in limited, this is like a 3 or a 4. Drawing 3 cards, really good. Love drawing 3 cards. Drawing 3 cards for 5 mana on turn 5? You're not doing a lot. If you have stalled out the board, then you are like looking at the top 6 and putting 3 into your hand. What's amazing too is that this is put into the hand. This is not draw. So it doesn't proc any draw things or get prevented from Narset. What can you do? Bang. It doesn't seem constructed playable by its not being instant speed. Can't be cost reduced. But this seems like it's good to draw 3. It's good to draw 3. And you get a little bit of extra flexibility there. That seems nice. This is the most beautiful squid I've ever seen. This art is gorgeous. 10 out of 10 squid. 10 out of 5 squid even. 1 and a blue for a Defender 3/2. Whenever land enters the battlefield, Skyclave Squid can attack this turn as though it didn't have Defender. Oh, that's good limited. That's good. That's going to be a 3 out of 5 for me in my limiteds. That is just the most beautiful squid. I love it. The Grumbler says exquisite. That's really good. That's a good one. That's the pun of the day. There you go. Is it a pun? No, I think it's just word association. Look at this. We're learning all sorts of shit. Yeah, this is a limited card. You shouldn't run it in constructed, but I didn't give it a 4. I'm probably not going to be picking this one up early, but I'm definitely going to be happy to just get one at some point. Sure-footed Infiltrator. 3 and a blue. Let me guess. It's a rogue. Bam. Got it. 2/3 for 4. Tap another untapped rogue you control. Sure-footed Infiltrator can't be blocked this turn. Nice. Whenever Sure-footed Infiltrator deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Very nice. Very, very nice. 4 out of 5 limited. This is a build-around. If you are a blue rogue deck, you want a Sure-footed Infiltrator to just keep getting cards, keep getting value, relatively straightforward. Wow, that's nice. Don't run this in Constructed. Not a chance. And the basic statement is that in Constructed, flying is basically unblockable. Basically. If you have a creature that's unblockable, it will always be weaker than a card of the same cost and similar everything else that is flying. And so typically in Constructed, you want the benefits that you get from having the weaker evasion ability in flying, then you would get the guarantee of the unblockability when there's some decks that don't even run creatures. So, there you go. There you have it. Tazim Royal Mage, 1 and a blue for 2/1. When Tazim Royal Mage enters battlefield, if it was kicked, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. C'est parfait. This is a limited card. I love it. It's not an amazing limited card, but I'll call it like a 2 out of 5. God, I mean, this is why I love Kicker. I'm never disappointed to just be filling my deck with 2 1s for 2, because this Kicker cost is so good. Oh, yeah, love it. Not a constructed card. Very, very happy to see this. Thieving Skydiver. 1 and a blue, another Merfolk Rogue for you. It's a 2/1. Kicker X. X can't be 0. When Thieving Skydiver enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, gain control of target artifact with converted mana cost X or less. If that artifact is an equipment attached to Thieving Skydiver. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fun. Oh, man. Oh, my. You know. Thieving Skydiver doing a little snatcheroo on just artifacts. It's pretty fun. I'd really love to see something like Thieving Skydiver for 1 and just stealing a treasure token. Thieving Skydiver for 8 to take the Embercleave, at which point they immediately just re-equip it. Oh, dude, Yo Larson dropping in with them knowledge bombs, saying pretty sweet against Stonecoil Serpent. Look at that. Comes in, X is 1, gain control of that serpent. Woo! And steal ovens. That's fun. I mean, cats are banned, so what can you do? But I like this one. Absolutely has legs in Constructed. We're going to give it a confident 3 out of 5. In Limited, confident 3 out of 5 as well, because, I don't know, we keep getting equipment pushed on us. May as well get it pushed back. Umara Wizard. Ooh, it's a spell land. 4 and a blue for a 4/3. Whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, Umara Wizard gains flying until end of turn. And it's a land. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. I love these spell creature lands. I love these spell creature lands. I love them. I absolutely love them. Okay? They're so good. Umara Wizard is an okay card. A 4/3 for 5 mana that can get flying conditionally. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. But remember, most of the time, it's just letting you run this for free. Just cut an island, put in 1 of these flip lands. You're good. If you can't cut like 6 islands and put in 6 flip lands, that might be a little bit too slow. But this seems like an extraordinary include in some sort of Is It Spells aggro deck that's looking for a finisher, because it's just not a big cost to have them. Wind Rider Wizards, 2 and a blue. Yeah. What Yoel Larson said. What I mean is that if you have, say, 17 lands, you want to be careful about cutting 7 islands and putting in 7 flip lands, so that you have 7 flip things and 10 normal land. If you went to a total of like 19 or 20 lands, and then had 7 of them being these flip creatures and 13 normal lands, now we're starting to cook with plasma. You know what I'm saying? Wind Rider Wizard, 2 and a blue, flying. Whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. It's fine. It's a fine card. 2 out of 5. It's great. 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 Zulaport Duelist. A single blue for a 1/1 flashy rogue. When Zulaport Duelist enters the battlefield, up to one target creature gets -2/-0 until end of turn. Its controller mills 2 cards. Hiya. I actually think that this common card is going to be disproportionately important in a lot of the rogue decks. It does a lot of the important rogue things. First of all, being a rogue, being cheap, being flash, being a combat trick, and being a miller. It does like all of the shit that you want it to do. It doesn't do anything particularly spectacularly, but it's 1 blue, so it's really, really, really easy to cast in all sorts of situations.